not considering cities like Kaunas, Belgrade, Bologna, and the ones you mentioned, will probably hurt the NBA Europe project, and a lot of the financial power of European basketball, which is not a lot, is coming from basketball fans. If you take away a big part of these big basketball fan bases, I think that you will probably hurt the whole product. So this might be something that the NBA has not fully considered or weighted with the right proportions, but they will probably learn about it. They are used to reason in a way that it is good for the American basketball. So focused a lot on markets. As you can see now, the NBA is expanding in Las Vegas and Seattle, which are two big markets. So they're probably thinking about big cities, and they probably don't know how much big fan bases have the power, we can say, in Europe.
There are also some concern about the Europe fans of basketball that we might think that NBA wants a second league, a G League model of the NBA Europe. In these days that we are talking about, a very important past Euroleague player, which is Kyle Guy, told that G League is better or much better, I don't remember the exact word, but he said better for sure, than Euroleague. Then actually Euroleague players, and I remember for sure Blossom Game, which is playing right now for Monaco, but many others also from the past, lagged a lot about that and were obviously not agreeing with him. So this is also another thing to keep an eye.
Kai Guy, he said, I played in Euroleague, but to be fair, Kai Guy played 8 games in Euroleague. He averaged 4 points per game, and then he was cut by Panathinaikos. So I'm not sure about his statement, and I've seen personally a lot of other players saying the opposite.
Was he also in the poorest Panathinaikos of the last years, right?
Yeah. The G League United team have lost multiple times against Malaga, which is a team competing in the Basketball Champions League, which is the 3rd European competition. So I'm not sure about the G League being better than Euroleague talent-wise. But this NBA Europe project have also been obviously discussed in official settings, such as the European Parliament, where Carolina Morace, member of the European Parliament, said in a parliamentary question, and I quote, "A closed league in Europe with permanent franchises and external corporate control risks undermining the European sports model, which is founded on solidarity, community participation, youth development and equity, as enshrined in Articles 6 and 165 of the Treaty of the Functioning of the European Union and the Parliament's resolution on the European sports model." Then she asked some really interesting questions, such as, and I quote again, "Does the Commission consider that NBA Europe could transform into a monopolistic structure incompatible with the European Union's competition and cohesion objectives? Then, how does the Commission intend to prevent the value generated by European sport from being extracted by non-European entities for tax, social and governance purposes? Will the Commission assess whether NBA Europe is compatible with the European Union's commitments regarding equality, solidarity and the protection of cultural and sporting diversity in the Member States?" And finally, she added, "This initiative could lead to the extraction of fiscal and economic value outside of the European Union, threaten the sustainability of grassroots and junior systems, marginalize women's sports by prioritizing commercial profitability over equality goals, and weaken the governance role of European Federation in favor of a foreign entertainment corporation." Okay, in my opinion, these are legitimate questions. And, if the NBA controls the basketball in America, Africa with the NBA African League, Europe. They also have a really strong influence in Asia. This could probably kill the basketball market. So the NBA can offer you a product and tell you, NBA fan, you can watch this or you will stop watching basketball. I'm extreme in what I'm saying, but it's just to getting through the concept. So I think that one of the healthiest values of a product is having a competitor, having some competitions. So the product has to get better through time. If you don't have a competitor, you can set the price at whichever level you want, and that is not good, because if they want to put everything about the basketball world inside the NBA League Pass and make you pay a lot of money, they can do so because you have no alternatives. I'm obviously considering the worst case scenario in this case. And then other things, other interesting things she said were mainly about taking some European money, so money made via an European product, and take it into another continent, into the USA. And these things, politically, they may be some really big problems and concerns, especially because the European legislation is very complicated and differs a lot from country to country. So there are many question marks to consider. I don't know your opinion about this, but I think that these are probably the biggest question marks of this whole thing.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. For sure, the USA are trying to pursue a monopolistic way to conquer the basketball all over the world. Not just the youth talents that they want to bring to play in NBA, but also control and checks everything that happens through the world for basketball. This is a major concern also for the game itself of basketball, because if everything is adapted into the USA scheme of thinking, that could lead everyone playing in the same way, doing the same things. However, the main interesting things for Europe and Euroleague fans is going to some different places from, as I was telling before, from Baskonia to Bayern Munich to Kaunas to Belgrade to Istanbul to Athens, which is something really incredible. So if they are taking away this particular tradition and this particular atmosphere of basketball, not just the fans that are shouting and drinking and supporting the team through the 40 minutes of the game, but it's something more, which is linked to the passion, to the link to the city itself. If they are taking away these, they would not have the game and they would not have the fans. So this is a very important thing, and adapting everything in the world to their mind and their way to do the things is not good.